Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, UFC 326, March 7th is official, and they announced it at the UFC, what is it, inaugural press conference? Is that what they say? Is that how they call it? It was a press conference with like all the fighters for the upcoming pay-per-views of next year. And yeah, they announced the main event for UFC 326, March 7th, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira, the rematch for the BMF belt. Now, am I excited? Absolutely. That's an incredible fight. But I also feel relieved because with the recent UFC matchmaking, I feel like the UFC would have fucked around and put Charles Oliveira versus Benoit Saint-Denis or some shit, you know? You never know. You never know with the UFC nowadays. So I'm glad this was like probably the easiest matchmaking in history. The fighters wanted it. The fans wanted it. The company obviously had no problem doing it because it generates a lot of viewerships. And you get two legends, you know, around the same era. There's very low risk, very high reward for everybody involved. So obviously they make that fight. But I am still a bit salty about the recent matchmaking and stuff. And I guess I'm salty about it because I saw like the fighters on stage today, Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje, just completely glazing each other nonstop. And Diego Lopez, even though he's like one of my favorite fighters of all time, saying stop crying. And I'm like, bro, I can't stop crying. It's like, it's just a question of merit. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But either way, you know, the same time, I'm happy we're moving forward. There's a press conference, like an inaugural press conference. I don't know if they do this every year. I don't remember if they did this last year, but all I know is that, God fucking damn, every press conference is literally a template of each other. It's literally all the same thing, all the same question, all the same answer. Charles Oliveira saying that he's a wounded lion, and Max Holloway saying, we'll find out. That's literally all it is. Max Holloway will find out at a press conference is so iconic. It just, you know, you never get used to it. You never get tired of it. But yeah, Sean O'Malley also had a fucking weird moment. Now, I don't understand what the fuck he was doing, all right? I don't know what the reasoning behind it was. What the fuck was that? But anyways, yeah, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. I guess we should talk about that first, right? That's most important. Should I put it on screen? Let me put it on screen. Here you go. You see it. There's the visual. Does it satisfy your dopamine? I feel like, I don't know what's better sometimes, just keeping it simple. I'm just on camera. Or you see two fighters staring at you. And you probably can't even see the comments. But the first comment here says, Meat jumped a few inches looking at this. Yeah, relatable, chat. But you know, this fight is incredible. Everybody wanted to see this. Now, first thing that jumped into my mind is Charles Oliveira's activity has been actually crazy. Let me actually, you know what? Let me do this real quick because I haven't, like a good boy, checked Sherdog before, but I have to see the dates of the recent fight because I feel like he's been fighting every 3 months. So he fought Ilya in June, right? He fought Gamrot in October. So July, August, September, October. Okay, so that's like less than 4 months. And then he'll fight in March. So November, December, January, February. I mean, 4.5 months, something like that. It's still pretty active. Look, I'll show you real quick if you guys can see. At least the last 3 fights, it's been every 4 to 5 months, 3, 4, 5 months in between fights. For a guy like Charles Oliveira, that's very rare because usually fighters that make this much money, you know, that became champion and have those types of contract, they don't really need to fight that often. They just don't. I never really thought, maybe subconsciously, that that's something healthy for older fighters to be fighting that often. But at the same time, I know for these guys, that's where they make the most amount of money, and they want to maximize the amount of activity they have before it gets too late. I just hope, like, to be fair though, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway is kind of a good matchup for either guy because Max Holloway is not super powerful. I mean, he is powerful. He is sneaky with it. He did like KO Gaethje flat. He had some pretty nice knockouts in his career, but he's definitely more known as a volume guy than a power puncher. And Charles Oliveira, when he's not facing a fucking Ilya Taporia, his chin has held up. You know, he gets dropped and shit, but he usually gets back up. So I don't know if Max Holloway has the power to knock Oliveira out flat with one punch. I don't know if he does, you know. And Charles Oliveira's pressure and his grappling is actually very, very imposing. And it's going to be interesting to see how Max Holloway deals with that because I feel like Max Holloway has always dealt with pressure pretty well, but Charles Oliveira literally walks forward and, you know, either punches your face in or grabs, you know, gets a hold of you and grabs you. So it's like, that's his style and it works and it's always worked. It is going to be an interesting fight because I don't think Oliveira is going to catch Holloway either. I think Holloway, I was going to say Holloway's defense is good. I mean, his striking is good, but his defensive striking isn't as good. But I don't see Holloway getting knocked out either. Holloway's chin is just incredible. So maybe I'm just fucking putting it on the fact that he's got a good chin. But I don't see Holloway getting knocked out either. So it probably will go. I don't know. If I had to do an early prediction of this fight, I'd probably see a decision. But either way, it's going to be so interesting because this is a clash of style. And I don't remember the last time like Holloway has been against a very, very high level grappler the way Charles is, because Charles is a very high level, as we know, and he uses it, right? So it's not like those grapplers in the UFC that don't really use it and that prefer to strike. Charles will mix it up. So it's going to be a very, very fun matchup. But I was thinking about this though, like you guys can let me know what you think about this concept that I came up with. Because I was watching the press conference and somebody asked Charles Oliveira about like a title shot if he wins this fight. And he said like a wounded lion is still a lion, right? That Charles Oliveira line. But specifically, I guess, you know, I should exclude this fight, all right? Because my perspective or my opinion on this probably doesn't make sense for this fight. But I believe that legend versus legend fight are great. They're great for fighters. They're great for fans. They're great for the companies. Everybody wins. It's low risk, high rewards for everybody involved. And so legend versus legend fights are great, but they should not count as much for title contentions if the fighters are not actually ranked. You know what I mean? I saw Colby Covington recently. I think it was like one of the podcasts, Matan podcast or something like that. And he was saying like, yeah, I want to come back and I want to fight again, but I'm only fighting against legends or something like that, right? Kind of the John Jones thing as well. And I think we can't really reprimand guys for wanting legend fights. If that's what they want, let them have it. You know what I mean? Especially a guy of John Jones level. But like, you cannot be a champion, right? If you want to, I guess, if you want to handpick your opponents and only for them to be legends, for them to make sense, for them to be low risk for you, then first of all, you can't hold the belt. And so I guess that's what they had to do for John Jones. And for Colby Covington, I'm just giving an example here. If they match him up against Masvidal in a few months and then he wins against Masvidal, he cannot get on the mic and then start screaming, I want Makhachev next, right? It just doesn't make sense. Regardless, because, I mean, even if you beat a legend, quote unquote, if that legend is not ranked, if that legend isn't in title contention himself, a win over him does not equate a title run for you, right? Now, that actually doesn't make sense for this fight, for this Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway fight, because the two guys are actually ranked probably in the top 5 in the lightweight division. So these are two contenders. So if they win against each other, they both have a case for a title shot. And so that's why it's literally zero risk for any of them. Like super, super high rewards. I mean, they're fighting legends. They now have a chance at, you know, getting the belt if they win. I mean, it's a win-win for literally everybody involved. But sometimes there are these legends versus legends matchups. Like they'll probably announce McGregor versus Chandler for the White House at some point. Again, whatever. But then if McGregor wins or Chandler wins, like I don't want to hear you call out the champion. Like that just, you know what I mean? But sometimes it seems like these fighters, they don't realize that. It's like you decide to go that path, you go that path. You know what I mean? But don't mix the two together, you know? So yeah, I guess that was just a point that I wanted to make that made me think about when I heard that question at the press conference. But speaking of press conference, I mean, so many fun things happens at UFC press conferences, right? It's not all the same thing all the time, whatever. What did happen was Sean O'Malley walked out for a face-off against Song Yadong with a mask, a COVID mask on, a blue COVID mask on. Why? Why would you do that? You know, I'm the most like freedom of speech or like freedom of action ever. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, all goes, bro, in the fight game. I really do believe that. You know what I mean? Who the fuck gives a fuck about my opinion? But that, you know what I mean? Usually in life, I'm like, especially in between friends, and you shouldn't stop yourself to make jokes because it's going to offend someone, right? I don't think you should. I think you should go all in, be racist, say the joke that you need to say. If it's funny, you know, just go all out. I'm that type of person. But like, it has to be funny. It has to have like some sort of, I don't know, humoristic take to it, right? It has to be unique or original, have a twist. What's the joke here? Like, what's the fun? Like the fun in wearing a? I'm all about these like edgy jokes and dark humor. I love it, but I don't get it. Like, I understand Song Yadong is Chinese, but I mean, let me know what y'all think. Like, did y'all think that was funny? I just think that was a bit like, it was like too edgy of a joke and not funny enough. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go all out with those types of jokes, the race jokes and stuff, fair, but make sure that it's fucking funny. You know what I mean? That to me wasn't funny at all. But maybe I'm becoming a liberal or some shit. I don't know. What else? Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison. I mean, I feel like they promoted their fights pretty well. I'm genuinely excited for that fight. That's going to be a very, very fun fight. The more I think about that fight, the more interested I am. Amanda Nunes has been out for a few years now, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. But it's going to be fun to see stylistically that matchup. Yeah, they both seemed very, very confident. And so that's something I'm very excited for. And Diego Lopez... Listen, Diego Lopez is one of my favorite fighters, but when he was asked about, like, you know, how he felt about, you know, how we reacted to this fight announcement that was absolutely bullshit, he told us to stop crying. And listen, it's very tough to stop crying when, you know, you see legitimate contenders being passed over. It's like, if it was Diego Lopez getting passed over, he would want people to talk for him. He would want people to defend him. So Diego Lopez, I think you're falling on my favorite fighters list. I'm sure he cares about that very deeply. But yeah, no, I don't know. Diego Lopez, I still love him and stuff, and like he's still very dangerous. He might still win this. You never know, you know. Volk is getting pretty old and stuff, but I mean, yeah, I feel like in Diego Lopez's shoes, in Paddy Pimblett's shoes, in Justin Gaethje's shoes, I'm sitting up there and I'm like, yo, thanks to UFC, you know? Like, I'm dapping up Dana White or John Anik, whoever's there. Dana White's never there anymore, so whoever, probably John Anik. I'm like, yo, thank you, UFC. I don't deserve this shit, but hey, I'm here. I don't know if, like, that'd be against, you know, what the UFC would want or some shit, but, like, I'd be real. Like, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. You just fought Volk this year. You know what I mean? But I don't know. These guys, sometimes I guess it's the way to build the fight or whatever, so they have to act as if, like, we're the one in the wrongs. But yeah, even for Justin and Patty, it's like they're saying, we're fighting for the real belt until Topuria's back. This is the real belt. And I'm like, what about Armin though? It's like not even acknowledging him. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's their style. It's better to avoid than to talk about it and bring up his name or whatever. But I feel like some of the most like authentic fighter ever. I remember Sean O'Malley saying some shit like that, or maybe I think Sean O'Malley said this at a press conference. It was like, thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana, I guess, like when they were talking about like the Dana White privilege. You know, hey, I mean, if I got the Dana White privilege, I'll take it, man. I won't refuse it. If you want to give me more opportunities, more money, shit, I'll take it. But be at least accountable or be self-aware that you are having this privilege. You know what I mean? If you don't, you don't have to. But I think it makes it makes a person so much more relatable and real when they just admit those type of things. But they don't have to. I don't know. There are styles of marketing, whatever. I'm just a random guy in front of a camera. So anyways, I just dropped a nice video, though, on the main channel. You should go watch it for the Ben Askren story. I know it's not something super trendy or in the moment, but whatever. I thought the video was really great. And yeah, I guess it's more of a slow-paced documentary style video about, you know, the whole situation with Ben Askren. And so if you guys are interested with that, the video turned out very, very good. I'll leave it at the end of this video. And if you do me a favor, go watch it. Go leave a comment or a like or something to support me, please. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this fight announcement, this press conference. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.